because I know if I can deliver what they're looking for, what they're asking for, what they count on me for, it's well worth whatever kind of ego trip or whatever kind of humility you have to deliver that content to them.
Come on, man.
Fantastic. Love that.
Radio Rahim.
No, let me say it, Spencer.
So it's Tunde Ajayi here as well.
Radio Rahim. Come on. Wait. The one, the only Radio Rahim.
That's what they say.
Yes, sir.
Bro, I see you everywhere, man. Seriously. I see you everywhere.
Sound effects on your phone now?
Yeah, we've gone clear, man. This is for our podcast. You're everywhere, even when I'm standing still, Radio Rahim.
Coming like chicken butts. He's everywhere. He everywhere. Chicken butts. Go ahead, Spencer. Go ahead.
Now, Radio Rahim, you have rose in prominence, and I remember like when you first started out, and to me, you are testimony of hard graft and labor. And as it says in the good book, by the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. Mm-hmm. And I have to props you. I got to give Radio Rahim a lot of ratings, man. You've grafted and grafted and grafted, and you stay true to the game, man. So well done for everything that's happening to you right now.
Sound effects. Well, you've been a good friend, Spencer. I appreciate your kind words, but more than that, I appreciate your friendship from the beginning. So, these things, everything takes time, takes hard work. You're one of the people that is a example of that, but it's always good to be welcomed into a new community, into a new fucking country. And when I came, you were one of the first to welcome me and to help me along. So that means a lot, and I appreciate it. And hopefully we continue, both of us, growing not just personally but professionally in this business, because you, like unlike many, know how hard it is.
Oh, come on.
Work hard enough to get to the next level.
Let me tell you this. 1 second. Let me tell you this. The reason why I big up Radio Rahim,
yes,
right? One of my comedic heroes is Dave Chappelle, right? And Radio Rahim got me to meet Dave Chappelle on a 1-to-1, and like more than guest, and he got me and my missus tickets and to watch Dave Chappelle when he performed down at the Brixton Fridge. And then he took us backstage to sit down. I don't know, about 2 hours with Dave Chappelle, and it was just mad love. And then also so certain things happen. I don't forget certain things. This is what I'm like, especially when things speak like to my wife and that. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't forget things like that. But it's like if I look at your graft in the game, and I look on like your best interview to this day.
That was the one.
That was the one.
That's the thing that's put you out there now, for real. But let me just tell you a story. A couple years back, I was in Floyd Mayweather's gym. Floyd came in. Everybody was waiting for an interview with Floyd. Most people got the interview. You don't even know this, remember, but I'm telling you this story because I was in the gym. You waited. I don't even know. I don't even know if you got the interview that day, but you waited for that. Do you remember what I'm talking about? You was in that gym. It was a media workout, and everybody wants to grab an interview with Floyd. But I remember distinctly, you was like, man, we've been here for like 2 hours or something, and we want the interview. I don't know if you got the interview, but again, when Spencer mentions the hard work, and you mentioned the hard work that you've put in, and you know what it takes, that vivid memory comes into my head.
Well, I do remember that day now. I just had an experience like that in Atlanta over Christmas with Gervonta Davis waiting 2.5 hours after the fight to get what was a 5-minute interview. But in those times, I have to remind myself who I'm doing this for.
Yes,
Is it that I need to talk to Gervonta Davis? Is it that I personally need to have a conversation with Floyd Mayweather? It's not the case. But there's an audience waiting. I believe I deliver a certain style of content
Yes.
and an insight that isn't going to be delivered unless I bring it to the table.
Yes,
So if I have to wait 2.5 hours for an audience who's been willing to wait for my content every night, who's been willing to search me out on the social medias, subscribe to my YouTube page, be diligent and loyal fans because they appreciate what I bring to the table when it comes to boxing, then that 2.5 hours flies by because I know if I can deliver what they're looking for, what they're asking for, what they count on me for, it's well worth whatever kind of ego trip or whatever kind of humility you have to deliver that content to them.
Come on,
Brilliant.
man.
Fantastic. Love that.
Listen, man, plum pleasing pleasure, like I say to everybody. Lovely to have you on the show, Radio Rahim, because you're my guy. You know what I mean? Without the supply, I ain't gonna lie.
I look forward to seeing my brother in the new year, hopefully very soon. And let's all sit down and have a chat. There's very few guys that can talk like us about a sport with the perspective that we have. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Radio, big up yourself, yeah? Take care, God bless.
For any young entrepreneur starting in business, you know, what would your one piece of advice, your golden piece of advice be to that young person who wants to emulate you, wants to, you know, be independent and own his own stuff? You know,
well,
what kind of advice what would be a great piece of advice for someone starting on that?
Well, I will begin with this one, to be fearless.
Yes.
You know, to not allow fear to reside in your dreams, in your visions, in no capacity. Because the word fear, you know, it's a word that I don't believe is of God. But most of all, I see so many get paralyzed because of the word fear, whether it's coming from another, whether it's coming from somebody in their household, or wherever the case may be. So be a fearless individual and then equip yourself. You know, equip yourself with the necessities that it takes to win with. You know, and that could be different things in different fields that you may choose, but you want to equip yourself. You want to equip yourself of the what, when, where, and how ingredients to accomplish, you know, the goals that's before you.
And it's that's so on point because, you know,
sometimes I get upset with things that's going on and things in my life. I'm thinking I should have been world champion. I should have been this. I should have that. I should have fought for this. I should have done that. Then I'm on YouTube watching something and then a little documentary just come up. You know, sometimes the computer recommends stuff.
Yes.
And then you see stuff where this kid's really struggling stuff and you're like,
of course.
You're like, wow, I'm there complaining about this.
Exactly. This is the point. So, you know.
In Jamaica, they have a fridge, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
the ice box, innit?
Your story is
not even ice box, bro. I couldn't afford that. I remember when I come to England and then my mom was like, oh, go take something in the fridge. I felt like I was a king. I was like, right, I could just go to the fridge. I could just go to the fridge and get a drink and just you know what I mean? Well, but it just goes to show all life is, bro.
Exactly. And Dillian, to be honest with you, you are a hero to me. You are the things.
Oh, thank you, Tunde, man.
Trust me, because let me tell you something. I have trained my mind only to think and focus on the positive. Now I know that's difficult for a lot of people.
Well, you bloody need to, because you see some strong stuff in the Boston Road. You get a lot of stick. So listen, you know, I lift lions in the camp stuff. You need to train your mind. Listen, I got nothing.
Wait.
Lions in the cup. Lions in the cup. Lions in the cup.
Yeah, man.
You see it. Come on.
Now, you are great, man.
Tunde, go empty your tank, all right? Just relax. Go empty your tank.
Listen, let me tell you something.
No. No, listen.
No, you're only serious, man.
I'm just gonna touch on that because I know a lot of people give you a stick about the fight or whatever.
No, but you have this. I'm trying to say. Look, stop it. Let me just stop you.
No. I'm gonna touch on it because man have to give you respect because you took Anthony from just a nobody, believed in his ability, trained him your way, done your thing.
Yes.
People say, "Oh, you never fought this. You should have done this. You should have done that." You took him to a fight and you changed his life.
Yes.
Simple as that.
And he pushed Covell up to the wire. And you know what I mean? Listen, he had one loss. He's young enough. He'll come back and he'll be better.
Yes.
You know, you done a great job. And the main thing is, many people come to you and say, "Oh, no, change this, change that." You done it. You and him done it your way. You done what you wanted to do. You done your thing. So massive respect for that, man. You know, obviously.
Absolutely. But
obviously, I was disappointed because I wanted to win because obviously my boy and I thought he could have won. Obviously, you know what I mean? But listen, inexperience is something you can't buy. I remember when I fought Joshua, walking out in the O2 in front of 25,000 people for the first. Remember, I was fighting in front of some dead crowds, 5,000 people, 2,000 people, 1,500 people.
Yes.
It is a whole different when you walk on. There's hundreds of, there's millions people watching around the world, people booing you and stuff. Mate, listen, that drained me even before I got in the ring.
Well, a lot of people don't. This is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people don't understand about this and about the energy factor. And you know, when you talk about people that give me a lot of stick, listen, they ain't been where I've been. They ain't been where Anthony's been. They haven't dedicated themselves to the sport and the craft for over 20 years. So when people see me for the first time and then they want to criticize, God bless them. I hope they do well because all I'm focusing on is the positive.
Listen, I'm going to teach you something. I know you used to be the one that teach people things and say things and whatever.
No.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
No. I'm just saying, you're older than me. You've obviously been through a lot of things and whatever. I've been through things as well. But I'm going to tell you something. People only criticize when you're successful.
Yes.
People are only jealous of you when you're successful. People only criticize when you're doing something good. Yes. Have you ever seen a champion criticize him? Yes. I said, that champ smells. I wish I had the clothes he had on. No. When you see someone who's successful, that's when you say, that man's a show off. No, that man is this because he's doing well, bro.
Yes.
And
but
this is why
you're doing something well.
But I don't even think it's at a successful level. Even on a low
level. This is what I say. It's better to create something that others criticize than to create nothing and criticize others.
Come on.
As simple as that.
Come on,
as simple as that. Right? That's what I gotta say.
No.
Right now, energy goes where it flows. We're speaking to winners. There's winners in the room. Our producer Gary's a winner. Baba Tunde Jai is a winner. Dillian Whyte is definitely a winner. Keep on doing what you're doing.
You can discard 17 of those World Championship wins, but there were two, the Nigel Benn and the Michael Watson 2. I would ask you to concentrate on those two because those two I couldn't win. And I did.
That is hold on, wait there.
Yes.
Because listen, man, I'm telling you, I've been telling people this. In defeat lies the biggest lesson. And I want you to touch on this more, Chris, please. This is education for us, the listening fans, for the young fighters coming up. Listen to the one and only Chris Eubanks. Come on, Chris.
Well, so, these perceptions of which, again, are, insightful views born of those experiences. I don't even know whether it's the right thing to actually speak on them because it's lost on most because it's not their reality.
Oh, come on.
And the reality that they are living in this new era, this new generation, is all about me, and the word and the term is instant gratification, which is very 100%. Damaging to these young men who are now coming up.
Wait, Chris. Listen, I just took you back to the dance hall.
Scripture. Come on, brother Chris.
Listen, man. Listen, this is Christopher Eubanks in church.
Yes.
Come on.
I will.
Tell him, Chris.
I will. Okay. So so when we talk about instant gratification, we talk about everybody wants everything now. This is an art, a craft, and a way of life that you can't jump, you can't skip. There's no shortcuts through this.
Yes.
If you don't learn your art, which takes, it took me 7 years to learn the art.
Excellent.
Build my record and actually contend for a world championship now.
Yes.
There is no shortcutting it. If you do, then effectively, this is what may happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You may be put into a position where you are a champion without having gone through the entire schooling aspects of boxing. So let's say now you're in university with effectively a world championship. If you have been made to skip college, you will pay a very heavy price. Okay, so let me tell you about that heavy price. It's not the loss that you will lose to someone who's actually gone through this schooling system. It's more the fact that you'll have the masses looking up to you as a superstar.
Yes.
But then when you're in university or when you're with fighters who have gone through the whole boxing experience and education, they will beat you. And the public will not allow you to keep on losing if they are thinking of you as a superstar or the example or the benchmark.
Remember to like, comment and subscribe to the Stamina for Sale YouTube channel.